right, let's talk about Opie first. I've had enough is the wrong word. I couldn't come up with another title for the video of Opie is jealous of Anthony again. I couldn't word it differently to make it stand out. He is still. He's very jealous of Anthony. But I just figured, let's take a week off that. Plenty of people are talking about it. And I said, let's visit what's happening at Gepard's. Go down to the basement of Gepard's and see what's doing. Because Opie will tell us that Anthony's embarrassing himself back on terrestrial radio. I guess Anthony's only doing 1 day a week. He's doing Sunday nights on terrestrial radio. I don't know how much of a difference that's gonna make to Anthony's bottom line, but I think he's doing it as like, hey, I'll do this for a few weeks of no bother to me to do a 2-hour show every week. Maybe eventually it turns into an everyday show, or maybe it turns into something else. Who knows? But Opie looks down at that, and Opie says, "Man, I know how to do radio." And so let's hear Opie doing radio, because it's of Opie's belief that Opie could literally walk into a bar and find people to do a radio show with. So I wanted to check in and see what the latest live from Gepard's was all about.
It's a hot show, Mike.
Yeah, it definitely is. It absolutely is, and I thought I could recommend it to you guys.
And that's how we start. We are live at Gepard's.
That's not edited. I didn't cut out the hilarious joke that they're all laughing at. That is how it begins. And you could say, like, hey, I did say there was a romance to Come Town starting like that. It kind of has to be executed well, I think. But Opie just starts, oh, man, we're having a great time. Oh, the mics are on? Whoopsie daisies. You just heard us, guys. Now, if you think there's nothing funny for the next hour and a half, you should have heard before the show. That's when we were really zinging and zanging.
It's in New York City. What's up, everybody? Welcome to our little live stream. We got my buddy Matt, who owns the joint. He owns 2 beer joints.
What?
Yes, you do, man. and cheers. Let's do cheers
right away. Why not? What else are we doing?
We got lots to do today. We're going to talk to Ron the waiter, also known as Ringworm Ronnie.
Great.
And we got yes, and we got Panji coming by.
Panji's coming.
I empathize with Opie having people just babbling in the background, but
oh no,
I'm kidding, Electra. But it is like Opie believes, because Opie will talk a lot about this, how he assembled the Opie and Anthony show, and here's where everyone gets fucked up. I think Opie did see something in Anthony where he said, "Hey, I'd like this guy to be my partner," and people might say, "Hey, that's very obvious," but not necessarily to everyone. You know what I mean? Like Anthony was trying to get on a bunch of different shows, and Opie's the one who gave him a real shot. Same with Jim Norton. He said, hey, this is a guy that is worth bringing in every day. So Opie did have what seemed like those skills. Where Opie has lost his mind is he forgets that he got very lucky that those two presented themselves to him. Like, even if you have a good eye for talent, you kind of have to be lucky to be in front of that to see it, you know? Like the idea that Anthony was just working a fucking HVAC job and presented himself to Opie, that's very lucky. Where Opie is miscombobulated that is he thinks I could walk into any establishment on the planet and I'll have, who gives a fuck? I'll have Ron the waiter. I'll have Matt, the owner of Gepard's on, and we'll just riff, baby. We'll just go. We'll turn the mics on and go. And with Anthony Cumia and Jim Norton, you could do that. What Opie forgets is, great, do a show with Ron the waiter and Matt. I'm sure it'll be terrific. But you should prepare something, because you can't expect Matt, who might be the least funny person on the planet. Like, Matt is difficult to listen to. You can't just expect Matt, hey, talk about whatever. I'm going to throw it to you and you riff. There was a time where he had 2 guys that he could do that to, and now he just doesn't. And it's unfortunate for Opie, but he's misguided in his ability to just be like, hey, I turned the mics on. You guys take the ball now. It's all yours.
Imagine if you're just eating there as a customer and don't know what's going on, and then you hear someone yell to your waiter, "Hi, Ringworm Ron." I'm like, can I get a new waiter, please?
I actually think that's why they're in the basement now, because these guys would just yell, and I think Matt was like, hey, can we not do this where I'm supposed to have fucking customers?
Yeah. Let's go to the basement where I can murder your show there.
Yes, yeah.
All right, Who Demand is the next one.
Oh, this is a classic segment of Opie's. I probably don't need to explain to you guys that has swept the nation. But Opie explains his bit of Who the Man, where often on his show he will just randomly go Who the Man, 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 and then he'll be like Donald Trump is the man, yeah, R. Kelly's the man today. Like he'll just say a name, and it provides a lot of entertainment. The chat really is a buzz when you get Who the Man of the Week or whatever the fuck it is.
Key. What's going on, man? We got to say hi to some of the regulars. Bob's checking in. John.
Hey, John.
Richie Rich. Evening. Who the Man? Oh. So Richie Rich on my morning live stream, he does the Who the Man bit.
Yeah.
I'm giving it to you. Who is the man? It could be anybody. It could be somebody in the news.
The current man?
It's literally like the most popular person today.
Okay, I don't know that because I'm so far away from the popular cheddar. It's a good addition.
It could be Trump.
I
For
guess
the
it would
State of the
be-
Union. It
has
could
to
be.
be.
It
It
could
has-
be the.
Then why
cancer
not just
kid.
make it that, Opie? If you want to say Trump, just say it. Why would you throw to these people who have no idea what the fuck you're doing and be like, hey, what's the bit you've prepared? And they're like, I don't know what this is. And he's like, oh, that's right. It was my idea. Damn it.
That's why is so he can look somewhat decent. So he just makes everyone around him look like shit. So he looks somewhat decent.
Oh, you don't know Who the Man? You don't know that segment that I've created that really means nothing? And by the way, his explanation of it shows it's just a worthless thing that he would have made fun of, by the way. Like, Opie, and people do forget this, like, Sam Roberts was the one that did all the work, but like, if you go back and listen to the first Jocktober, it was Opie's idea to be like, hey, we should see if we could do this every day. And if we could just listen to a random radio show, not like pick and choose bad segments, just listen to the show and see what they were doing like yesterday. That was Opie's idea. And now, at age 60, whatever the fuck he is, he's like, hey, who'd you say is demand this week? And it's like they would have crucified some hack morning radio show for doing something so lazy that it really has no meaning. As he's like, just say Trump. It's like, well, then why even do it if it's that fucking lazy?
Say anyone with balls. Go.
So they say the State of the Union, so I can't answer that one.
All right, it could be obscure.
Obscure?
It could be your landlord.
Say a
It's
man's
your
name. Oh,
landlord.
wouldn't that be fun if Ron the waiter shit on his landlord? Wouldn't that be a lot of fun for all of us?
That's what
Well,
I'm
I'll tell
waiting
you
for.
who my man is this week. It's Bill. Well, who's Bill, Ron? You wouldn't know him, but that's my choice.
I pay rent to him on the 5th of the month.
Lord is not the man. No. Or a man, perhaps. I'm not sure.
You don't have no one for Who the Man?
No, I don't. Thanks for like dropping that one on me.
Oh, that stinks. Anybody have Who the Man? Who the Man?
There's the man. Man's here right now.
There's
Panji's here.
Panji, don't
Okay,
mind
I'm
the
back.
racist
It's the
chair that
man.
Matt got yet.
Panji's here.
All right, we'll
Racist
figure out Who the Man.
Oh, well, it's very important to figure out who the man. I'm glad they're going to revisit that. But now we'll explain Panji to you. It is a sad state of affairs when legendary broadcaster Greg Opie Hughes has, at the time that I got the clips of this show, it was 4.9 thousand views on a video. And both me and Casey individually, he didn't tell me that he did this. I didn't tell him that I did this. We both looked at 4.9 thousand views on this video and said, that can't be right. Something's amiss here. And we both looked at the comments and saw a bunch of flags of Indonesia. And apparently, like way more people than usual. If you go to Opie's other live streams, it's like, I don't know, 300-400 views, something like that.
Mhm. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, it's this one with 5,000. Because apparently, Opie introduces Panji as the Jon Stewart of Indonesia. So they have this big guest on in another country. Opie can expand globally here. And they like barely talk to him. They're like, Indonesia? That's not this country. And he's like, no, that's true. It is different over there. And then they're like, all right, back to Ringworm Ron. Like they barely acknowledge this guy. It's not an interview with him. He's just one of like 9 voices that you hear. It's very sloppily done. And all these poor Indonesians are in the comments like, I'm here for Panji. Panji is our guy. And what's crazy to me about that, as a guy that grew up listening to Opie, is like, Opie will get less views than like this episode will get. And I'm like, is he buying views? What's happening? You know, like that's what's really crazy to me about the position Opie is in, is that Panji elevates the quality of his episode to such a massive extent. And Opie is very grateful, as you'll hear with some of his questions.
Yes, we've booked Panji for a 3-week stint on Catch 22. I mean, those numbers are
You should do that, yeah. Just talk about Indonesian comedy.
Yes. What do you eat over there? Where is it? Point it out on a map. Thank you.
You're joking. That's literally what Opie does with it, where it's like, Indonesia, man, that's got to be a totally different country. And Panji's like, yep, it is. Sure is.
Also, we got something new today for the live at Get Bots. If you give a $10 super chat, we will be firing this up tonight.
Oh, this is called new promotion, by the way.
Uh-oh. Do I hear the wacky meter?
Yes.
That's the $10 super chat air horn, everybody. We're wacky.
And now
We're wacky.
That's got to be fun in New York City.
I'm eating there. I am running out.
Yeah.
What was that sound? What's going on?
That's good for business.
Yeah.
Opie, and he does this thing where he masks it like, oh, we're just kidding. But listen to him. Like, he thinks this is going to be the new bit. This will really drum up business. Aaron, we'll talk about it with Aaron, too. They do this thing, and they do it half-assed. Because they're like, oh, I actually think this is lame. Like, I'm like you guys. I think this isn't cool. But also, I really want it to make me money. It's like, well, you can't be both then. You have to know it's lame and do it as a joke and not expect it to make any money. But if it doesn't make you money, you can't then go, oh, what the fuck is happening? Why aren't tens coming in by the droves?
All right, I thought we'd get $10 for you just doing that.
$10 right away.
We got Paul. He gave you $1.99. That's all right. That's all right. That's all right.
Opie begging for crumbs with this new heroin bit.
It's weird to see millionaires go nuts over a $1.99 super chat.
Yeah.
It's a bizarre thing that goes on. That color really dopamines you up or something.
And he's beeping a clown horn. He's going, waka waka. Like, won't you give me money now? Like, instead of just thinking of an idea, like think of make your I heard Carl say this. The one thing we found Opie is passionate about is shitting on Anthony. He loves it. He loves to hate Anthony and blame Anthony for all the failures of his career. And I think Carl's point was like, do that. Do a show where you just shit talk Anthony and you shit talk Joe Rogan and Jim Norton and Bob Kelly and Vaughn, all the people you think have abandoned you. Do that, because some of us will make fun of it and we'll watch it. And there will be other people that will be like, yeah, man, fuck Jim Norton. And they'll watch it and they'll make Opie their hero. So like, do that. Don't do this thing where it's like, uh-oh, do I hear the donation sound? Like, yeah, he clearly hates doing it, but he's so lazy that he thinks like that's my only chance of making money is literally sounding the donation alarm.
He should call that show Kumius Cucks, just so Chad goes apoplectic so we can make R. Kelly happy.
Oh, and if Opie is really trying to take from Aaron Imholt, he should call them O-Nations. Just do everything Aaron's doing, Opie, to hit the goal.
This next one's called Chemistry.
Well, like I said, it was amazing that chemistry came together with Anthony, Jim Norton, and Opie. And as they always say, lightning generally strikes twice. Like what's really likely is that you can assemble a group of guys that just make magic that lives on more than 10 years after the show's been off the air. People still talk about the Opie and Anthony show. And the odds are that happens 2, 3, maybe 4 times in a lifetime, that you're able to duplicate that chemistry. And I think this clip really shows that Opie has kind of the same magic with the boys at Gepards, it's really funny when Opie pronounces it that way. It is Gepards is the name of the place, but Opie every single time says Gepards, and that's how you know they're having fun.
Right.
leave the house without sweatpants. And then I got really lightheaded, so I called an ambulance.
You pulled your sweatpants off and you walked out of the house.
Wait, no. I put jeans on.
Wait. Up.
This is what Opie used to do on the Opie and Anthony show. People are talking, and he would go, wait, I got something to say. And it's it's a Chip Chipperson thing. I don't know if Jim started out making fun of Opie with Chip. I don't believe that he did, but it definitely became that, where a lot of Chip's broadcasting tendencies were representative of Opie, where two guys would just be in the middle of the sentence, and instead of just, waiting for a natural entry, or even just talking over them, like saying, hey, it's my show, I'm going to start talking now. For whatever reason, Opie takes the tact of, wait. I got one. Everyone buckle up. Now that I've built it up this way, it's going to pay off. It's going to be good.
Wait a minute. What? Lift up the air horn.
It's $5.
Oh, $5.
Guess what? You can look at it.
You can look at the air horn. The air horn only goes off. It only goes off for $10.
It's airy, but not horny yet.
Yeah. Jordan Jackson's House of Horrors, on a scale from 1 to 10, how embarrassing?
That's, by the way, Casey. That's what you do to me when I hear the rim shot. It's the sound effect equivalent of it's airy but not horny yet. Just keep that in mind. It just deflates me. So keep that in mind.
I've done so much better.
You have. I
Wife
appreciate
and kids of you and your awful show. All right. Thanks, Jordan.
Hold on. Can you go back a little? I want to hear. I think that Super Chat made some good points. I want to hear that again. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Jordan Jackson's House of Horrors, on a scale from 1 to 10, how embarrassed are your wife and kids of you and your awful show? All right. Thanks, Jordan. You spent $5 for that? Jesus. How late? My wife and kids are very embarrassed by me. Of course,
Stop talking about it. Stop talking about it.
Yeah, at least his co-host gets it, where he's like, "Stop talking about it. What are you doing?" Where Opie's like, "I'm going to stop the entire show for it." Maybe if you did that, if there was some chat right now, just like shitting on the segment, and you read it, I'd be like, well, I hope at least Casey has like a good comeback or something to completely derail the show with just a non sequitur shitting on me. Like maybe there's a reason for it. But Opie's reason is, I'm rubber and you're glue. Like, he literally had nothing for it, and he stopped the show to celebrate $5. You were so right a minute ago when you said, like, this is a millionaire who's like, wait, everyone, hold on. Is that $10? Oh, no, it's $5, but still pretty good.
Yeah. Those colors of those super chats do something to some creators, man. Opie is embarrassed is the next one.
Every once in a while, you can tell that there's a guy that had something at some point. I know people say like Opie never added anything to the Opie and Anthony show, and I don't think that's true. I think its contribution was minor compared to Anthony and Jim, but it was a contribution. And you can see that there's a man in there who's still conscious of the horrible decisions he has made. Like for all the bluster that Opie puts forward, you can tell there's someone in there that regrets everything and feels great shame for what he's doing. And I think that's what's on display here.
This shit doesn't bother me. And two, right now, I'm high as a kite.
There's 10.
Oh, wait a minute. Good story, Littlefoot, but we got 10. So for every $10 we make tonight, we're gonna fire up the air horn.
Jesus Christ.
That wall pedal's nice, man.
Opie auctioning off autographed Twisters next week, which is very exciting.
Yes.
Throw that damn thing in the garbage. It's not as impressive as I thought it would be.
You know what?
It's really not that impressive.
Are you that far away
Can
from
we do this off the air? Because I'm going to hurt you.
It's not that really.
Were you the
I
kid
was
that-
expecting a little more from the air horn bit.
Were
It's
you
not
the
that
air
impressive.
horn.
You,
It's never been an air horn. It's
What is it?
Air raid siren.
Well,
you didn't go
Quote,
chase fire
unquote,
engines as
eBay.
a child?
you got it from eBay.
You know what? Fine. Move on. Next subject.
All right.
It's so
he was
classic Opie to pull the ripcord on that when it's like his thing. Even if it was Matt or someone else's idea to do it, Opie's the host and can say, I'm not interested. No thanks. But Opie did it and then felt embarrassed afterwards. And it reminded me a lot of when they would do Jocktober and Opie would pull the ripcord on it. And like Anthony and Jim would play along with this a little bit and be like, oh yeah, it's so annoying. But what always frustrated me is they would do Jocktober and Opie would go like, oh, I'm so mad. I hate that these shows, I can't even have fun with it. I'm so mad. And I'd be like, well, you're just stepping all over the bit now. Like, everyone was having fun making fun of this. Now you're just shitting on it. And that's kind of what this is, where Opie like gets embarrassed and he has nothing to add. So instead, like his way of being funny is being like, oh man, this sucks. Doesn't it suck, everyone? And now there's no room. Like he used to be able to be like, it doesn't E-Rock suck for bringing this to the table. It doesn't Sam suck. Shouldn't Sam not have brought this up? Like he could shit on the staff. But now he kind of has to be like, don't I suck? And he just refuses to acknowledge that that's what he's doing.
Skilled interviewer, though. That's what he is.
Oh, that is one thing that's true. I remember the story of Ray Liotta. They said that Ray Liotta was in for an interview on the Opie and Anthony show, and Ant and Norton were firing away with questions. Because Ray Liotta is a decorated Hollywood actor. He's also in a movie they reference all the time, what's widely considered maybe top 3 or 4 movies of all time in Goodfellas. So you'd think there'd be plenty to ask Ray Liotta. Opie just sat there sheepishly to the point where Ray Liotta goes, what's wrong with this guy? Is he sick? He thought there was something wrong with Opie. And so
yes, he is.
Oh, so Opie's never had anything. He's just an empty guy who's never had anything to ask anyone. And this is him attempting. He has this big guest, Panji, who is the Jon Stewart of Indonesia, as Opie describes him. And so this is what he has to ask the panster.
Basement. And Panji's very, very, like, you got to explain again. You're really famous in Indonesia.
But it doesn't matter, right?
But you're like,
So you're gonna say, explain how funny you are.
Kind of.
Comedy, won't you?
but it's so wild because when he goes back to Indonesia, he can't move without everyone recognizing him and wanting pictures and all that. And then he comes to America and no one gives a shit. Which is amazing. No, not yet though.
I'm on my way.
I know you're on one room.
I know. It's here's what happened though. Here's what's kind of sad about Opie's existence is like he stumbled into kind of a funny line. Like that's kind of funny if like he delivered it better. Where you're like, anything comes here and no one gives a shit. Like that could be funny. But Opie is genuinely being insulting, and that comes through. He's like, man, you're so famous over there, and then like here where you're trying to make something of yourself, just no one gives a fuck. Expand on that. Like, it's not even a question. He wants Panji to go, yeah, I have a lot interesting to say about how irrelevant I am. Thanks for the setup, Opie. I'll take the ball and run with it.
It is the worst improver ever, Opie.
And then he gets embarrassed. I've never seen such embarrassment for what he's doing. Like, he presents this stuff, and then you can tell how embarrassed he gets, which I think is what we're seeing.
I know you're on your way.
You just spit on me?
What was that?
Nice greeting.
Is that a bad greeting?
I find that setting the stage for the next couple of questions.
I find that fascinating because, like, he could have just stayed in Indonesia and been incredibly famous, but he's like, no, I want to
see the world, baby.
I want to be famous in America. Is basically what you're thinking, right?
Boy, did you pick the right time?
No, I didn't mean it.
That's what I keep telling people.
I really didn't mean anything by that, but I find it fascinating that
it's quite fast.
Yeah.
What's the question? I find it fascinating. Well, what's he going to say? Yep, you do find it fascinating. Like, what's he going to say about that? Yeah, it is fascinating that I haven't been able to find success here. Like, what the fuck? You just set him up for nothing. You're like, hey, that's kind of crazy that you're of no relevance to anyone here, right? Isn't that interesting? That the name Panji is utterly worthless to me? Huh? What do you think of that?
Well, thank you.
It was like back in the old days with Opie and Anthony. We were in certain markets. We would go to these markets. We couldn't move. And then, all of a sudden you're on vacation in some other city that the show wasn't on in and no one gave a shit. That's all.
That's never been true, by the way. It's not a great example.
You know what?
But it's never been true. I was a fan of Opie and Anthony for many years. It's never been true that they could walk down the street and couldn't move, that they would get swarmed. They were a very big radio show for a time. They were number one in New York. But they lived in a time, where you didn't always know what radio personalities looked like. You know what I mean? Like, it was on the cusp of everyone having total internet access all the time. Like, it was theater of the mind. No one necessarily knew what Opie and Anthony looked like. You did if you were a real hardcore fan. But Opie and Anthony, even at their height, they could walk through Manhattan unscathed, you know? And that's not even shitting on them. Alec Baldwin walks around Manhattan. Like, there are very famous people that can walk around New York and not be swarmed with people. So already Opie's lying, but he's also saying, like, no, isn't it crazy that your fans know who you are and people who don't know you don't know who you are? Isn't that wild? It's like, not really. What is he supposed to do with that? It's what you'd expect.
He starts the improv and then leaves the improv. You remember when Michael Scott in The Office goes to improv class and he shoots out, he has the gun out and he's like, everyone has to play guns with him? It would be as if he then said, why are you guys doing this gun thing? That's stupid. We're not doing that. And he's like, you brought it here. You brought the guns here.
He said, I can't show you, but I have a gun.
Yes.
A great line. But like, I was at the live show in Laconia last week with the Minifans. All very fun, very nice to be out there. And we went to a bar afterwards next door, and a bunch of people surrounded me and asked me questions about the show. That's a very unique experience for me. However, when I go to another bar, like if I went out to lunch yesterday, I wasn't like, what's weird? No one swarmed to ask me about Kirk. That's strange. No, you were in an environment where everyone knew who you were. It's not, that's what happens. Opie's like, just pontificate on that. It's like, well, you already said it. What more am I going to say about it?
Be back. Thank you guys for having me. It's great. It's great. Yeah.
Looks like Panji's out of there. Next one is a woman enters.
So this is, just a lady walks into the room. I think she's a waitress at Gards. And just this room couldn't handle that. It shuts down. It's chaos.
Gonorrhea Sally. We got Ringworm Ron and Gonorrhea Sally.
It's a great staff here at Gards.
Enjoy your food.
That is true.
What do you have to do to get a goddamn beer around here?
Mew.
Oh,
Mew's here. Actually, Mew, you want to come over?
Mew, you want to say hi?
Come on, say hi. It's cousin.
Oh,
fucking racist, bro.
He's going Opie.
There's a bay involved. How close
So
is
many
Thailand
podcasts. Casey, you've made note of this before. I listen to a lot of podcasts during the week.
So many.
Much more than the average person. And so often do I hear, like, I was just listening to Theo Vaughn, and the waitress walked into the room, and I was like, oh, I wish you would stop talking to Elon Musk and start talking to the waitress. I want to know what she's about. And that what I'm kidding, but I actually used a bad example, because Theo Vaughn would have a waitress on and just talk to her and make it interesting. Opie doesn't have that ability. Opie thinks because the Opie and Anthony show was kind of chaotic, hey, let me just call the waitress over and magic will ensue. But this is just a lady who's on her shift and just wants to get out of there. And she wants to bring this asshole who said, what does it take for me to get a beer around here? She wants to bring this guy a drink so she doesn't get in trouble. And Opie's like, hey, Mew, or whatever the fuck your name is, come make magic with me. What do you say? Let's riff.
It's like
Indonesian.
a 6.5 hour flight. It's probably only a couple hours flight.
A couple-hour flight.
Yeah, it's just a couple-hour flight from Jakarta.
Okay. All right.
I'm from Jakarta, Indonesia.
Jakarta. God damn it, Jakarta.
Yeah.
She's looking for a man.
She's looking for a man. He's rich and famous.
What? Just come on in.
It's very
Robert
important
ain't
that
getting
Mew
up.
gets on mic.
No.
Everyone's on mic right now, apparently.
Oh, Robert, don't
We
get
just
up.
found Robert. We
Don't
just
get up.
found him.
You can't lose him again.
Hi.
Hi.
meeting you.
Nice to meet you.
Oh my God.
That's Mew.
Hi,
Looking
Mew.
for a man.
This basement
Just
has a
looking
lot.
for a
This
man.
basement has a lot of flavor.
Hi.
Whoa, dude.
A lot of flavor. I mean that in a good way.
do.
I'm the sweet one then.
Oh,
Go.
sweet.
All right.
Nothing.
that
No,
bit,
whoa!
okay.
Well, nothing was said. Why did it get that reaction? A
don't
woman
know.
just said words, and they're like, "Whoa!" Oh my God! Someone said something. Thank God.
You missed nothing visually. Nothing happened in the room. There was
Didn't
no
take your
fireworks
top
set
off?
off. No, you missed nothing.
Yeah.
And that wasn't a good job.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Bugs, please.
yeah. I was expecting more. I got to be honest. I was
Where's all the
expecting.
money?
I was expecting a little more from that.
So Muse can
A little
stand
more.
up and
It's
do
your
a dance.
bit.
So what do you got, Bu? How was your week?
I got a beer.
Where's
I
mine?
don't
Where's
have a
our
beer.
beer?
We ain't got no
Perfect,
beer.
by the way. She's doing her job perfectly.
Yes.
What do you got, Mew? What do you got? Another Chip Chipperson line. What do you got? And she's like, I'm doing my job, if that's what you're asking. I'm doing the only thing I'm supposed to be. I don't have stories for you to talk about, but I'm a private person who you made come over here. What do you want from me? It's so rude to be like, hey, what do you got? Not only did I call you over here into this uncomfortable circumstance, you do the heavy lifting.
Mhm.
What do you got? Because I got nothing.
Imagine if like you're at work waitressing and then all of a sudden you're on Kill Tony. You're doing a minute. You're like, what? I'm just
Right.
giving.
Yeah, no, I didn't put my name in the bucket.
No.
You?
Like, come on, bitch. You don't got a minute? What's wrong with you?
Boo! Just a boo all of a sudden. So I'm just here doing my job.
Yeah.
How was your week?
I got a beer.
Where's
I
mine?
don't
Where's
have
our
a beer. We
beers?
ain't got no
Oh
beers.
my gosh. What would you like?
Because you're not paying customers.
Mooch.
Red stripe? I got a
I'll
red
do a
stripe.
red stripe. Red stripe man.
You know what? It's funny that Jamaica was mentioned earlier.
That is funny. That is real.
It's
That, like,
hilarious.
just they react to anything. They're like, "Hey, you want a red stripe?" And they're all like, "Whoa, a beer name! Yes, something for us to react to." Other than Opie asking, "Who's the man?" and what we got.
All right, the final clip here is a great sidekick, which he's not great.
Oh, I disagree. I think these are good guys to riff with. I think this might be Littlefoot that he turns to, and he's like, "Littlefoot, what do you got? Let's go." And this is where it's kind of sad. This would make for a great movie scene with the right director. Like in the story of Opie and Anthony, this would be a very dramatic ending. When you watch the relationship with Opie and Opie find Anthony in obscurity and they build a career together, and Opie could toss anything to Anthony. Hey, here's this news story, Ant, run with it. Hey, let me mention Andrew Dice Clay. Anthony, you wouldn't happen to bring that to life and do a great impression, would you? Oh, as a matter of fact, you can. And this would be the very sad ending where Opie's like, all right, Littlefoot, take it away, brother. What do you got? Give it to us. Come on. Drive it home. Have some profound thought about the news or a comedic bit. Take it away, brother.
Robert, go ahead.
Robert,
Right
do
there.
you have
Ron,
a,
give
do you
him a
have a
seat.
question
Seat.
for Panji?
I do not.
Do you have any Indonesia fun facts?
Experience.
I've never been to Indonesian.
That's a fact.
I don't.
They have
Well, I don't. Therefore,
It's
I
still
don't
a
have.
fact.
You feel for the Opester in this moment, but it is entirely his fault. Because Opie is out of things to ask this Panji guy.
Yeah.
He has nothing else to say to him. He had him on because he knew it might get 3,000 extra views on YouTube. So, like, Opie has nothing to say to him. And he's like, fuck, I'm out. Hey, you, Littlefoot, what do you got on Indonesia? And it's funny to laugh at this guy for being like, nothing. He contributes exactly what he's supposed to. He's sitting in a bar, and a man said to him, what do you got on Indonesia? And this guy answered how almost anyone would answer. I have no thoughts on that matter. I have nothing to say about it.
I just got a text from R. Kelly. He says, Littlefoot reminds me of DG.
Man, this guy, he's really got nothing to say, this guy. Of all the Stuttering John co-hosts, DG left me the most perplexed. Why would John have him out? Just to kiss his ass? That ain't the John I know.
This guy better pay his bar bill while he's there.
Yeah. You know who I did like was, who's the crippled guy? The crippled racist guy. I liked him.
Quadfather?
Man, I like the Quad Father.
Yeah, the Grateful Dead never played Indonesia. I don't have a fun fact. I don't know anything about it.
Because I've never been in Indonesia. You've never been to Columbus, Ohio. I'm like,
I have.
Then why ask him? Well, you're not well versed on anything. So I thought you might have a question for this obscure foreign comedian.
How would I know a fun fact if I haven't been there?
Great point.
Couple fun facts. See
There's no
something about
Wi-Fi
Columbus?
down here.
Yeah, there is.
No Wi-Fi down here.
And they're like, "Oh, we're not equipped to broadcast." Hey, Google that. We literally can't.
Go to blindmike.net for everything Blind Mike. Look at me. I did it. Krager's did it.